Hi, I'm Allie and welcome back to Haven's Kitchen. Today, I'm making one of my favorite recipes, a coconut lime chicken soup. While this isn't a traditional tom kha kai, it is based on all of those flavors. It's a coconut broth with lots of lime and all of the lemongrass and ginger and macroot in our coconut cashew sauce. We basically simmer chicken in this delicious broth just for a while until it gets really tender. And then we put lots of lime juice in it to really just give it that like creamy but also really nice acidy flavor. One of the tricks of this soup is that we zest the lime into the beginning aromatics, which is the scallions and our mushrooms, and then we add in more flavor with our coconut cashew sauce. If this recipe sounds like something you'd like to make, be sure to subscribe to see this and all of our future recipe videos. The first thing we need to talk about is when you're cutting chicken, you are not going to be doing that on a wood or an absorbent cutting board. You really want to use plastic or glass for anything like raw chicken or meat. So we're gonna cube up the chicken, have it ready, and then we're gonna build the soup starting with aromatics, some scallions, our shiitake mushrooms, the lime zest. We're gonna get those nice and cooking, and then we're gonna add in our sauce, coconut milk, chicken broth, the chicken, and then we're just gonna let it simmer for a little bit. We're gonna be using a Dutch oven to make the soup, and we're just gonna have our handy dandy zester to get that lime zest into the aromatics at the beginning of the soup. So like I always say, I am a little bit of a broken record, but even pieces means even cooking. So we're going to be cutting the chicken into even cubes so that they take around the same time to cook, so you don't end up with some pieces that are overcooked and unfortunately some that are undercooked. We are also using chicken thighs, not the chicken breast, because it's such a tender meat and it's a little bit harder to mess up. These are boneless, skinless thighs. And we're just going to be cutting them into cubes and setting them aside until it's time to pop them in the soup. If you wanted to make this vegetarian, you could. You would use a veggie broth, and of course you would leave out the chicken. So I've cut my chicken into even cubes, and now we're gonna head on over to the stove. So we're gonna start this off with some coconut oil, just because we really love those flavors of coconut in here. Now we're gonna add in our scallions and the shiitake mushrooms. And we're just, like I always talk about, we're creating a base of flavor. So the mushrooms are gonna release some of their liquid. We've got the scallions. We're gonna add in some of this lime zest, which will really just start the whole soup off with a base of delicious flavor. And then by adding in our sauce and the coconut milk and the chicken broth, we just continue to build the flavor. And then it'll just make the chicken super, super tasty. A little salt. The salt will help the mushrooms release some of that liquid. And there you have it, a really beautiful coconut lime, super easy squeezy soup. If you enjoyed this recipe, be sure to like this video and subscribe to see all of our future cooking and tips and tricks videos. For the complete recipe and a textable shopping list, click the link below. Thank you so much for watching, and cook happy.